Hello everyone, my name is Anthony and welcome back to another virtual Lunch and Learn. This week we'll be discussing the most crucial organ your body has that makes you who you are, your brain. We discuss the importance of brain health and how to better train to keep your brain running at an optimal level through various lifestyle connections. We'd like to mention that this video is intended for educational purposes only and should not be interpreted as medical advice. Enjoy. The brain is the center of all thoughts, feelings, emotions, and all other things that make us human. It is also the control center for every organ in the body. Just like the control center of a major company or organization, the brain needs constant blood flow to deliver critical supplies, oxygen and fuel, primarily glucose or blood sugar, to operate. We often hear about heart health and all the lifestyle steps we can take to promote healthy arteries and prevent blockages that would keep the heart from performing at its best. But did you know that many of those same principles apply to a healthy brain as well? Here's an interesting bit of trivia. Did you know that the idea of body and mind being distinct or separate came from a philosopher? The first time there was ever a formal distinction made between the two was by the philosopher René Descartes back in the 17th century. At that time, it was felt that the body was the concern of the physicians and the mind was the focus of organized religion. Fast forward to the 21st century, and we've come a long way. We recognize that while we may still sometimes think of the body and mind as two unique things, they are highly connected, and the health of body and mind are both contributors to our overall well-being. In addition to good blood flow, brain health includes many other factors. There's no standard definition, but many agree that healthy brain function includes several components. Examples include language, thought, memory, and the ability to plan and carry out tasks. In addition, other components include judgment, attention, perception, remembered skills such as driving, and the ability to live a purposeful life. It is also important to recognize that brain health isn't something you have or don't have. Changes happen over a lifetime. Just as our bodies age, our minds do as well, and some changes that happen may be a natural part of the aging process. Changes in the brain health vary for everybody. Many people may age without losing much of their memory and brain function at all, and those who do have some mild problems may never progress to severe dementia. Memory is one part of cognition, or thinking. There are two major types of memory. Short-term memory is temporary to prevent our minds from becoming overloaded with too much information that we don't really need. This allows us to focus on the most important things. Short-term memories are stored briefly and usually include things that you need to remember for just a short period of time. For example, you may be able to remember the date and time of an appointment you just made until you get it written down on your calendar. Studies show that people can only remember a few pieces of unrelated information at a time. Many people can remember a 7-digit phone number, but may not be able to remember something longer like a driver's license. Long-term memory is used for more meaningful memories. It includes everything from routine or procedural information, such as how to log into your computer, make a sandwich, or drive, as well as the details of important events in your life, whether they happened recently or many years ago. Some memories are more vivid than others. For example, you might remember enjoying a movie that you once saw, although you might not remember much about the plot. On the other hand, you may remember every detail of a special event such as graduation, a wedding, or the birth of a child. Some memories even change over time as a result of things we learn or experience later. For example, you might remember details of a first date differently based on the information you learn later about that person. Why worry about brain health? A deficit in memory or cognitive health can greatly affect a person's well-being. When your brain is at its best, you function well overall, at work, at home, and within your relationships. If the brain deteriorates, it can affect everyday living and the ability to take care of oneself. Some impairments may make it difficult to manage finances, keep doctor's appointments, or take routine medications to manage or prevent other health problems. Dementia affects understanding and comprehension, and may make it difficult for a person to express thoughts or needs through words or to identify objects. Severe forms of dementia may lead to a loss of long-term memories and sense of self. It may also lead to vulnerability, increased risk of injury, and a loss of independence. Perhaps you have experienced this with a friend or loved one. Have you worried about an elderly parent or grandparent living alone, fear they may not be able to remember to prepare meals, take medications, or perform basic self-care activities? Even something as simple as preparing a meal can suddenly become dangerous for someone with memory loss. For example, forgetting to turn off the stove could lead to a fire. Some people may find themselves lost in their own hometowns, even a familiar route to visit a loved one or make a trip to the grocery store. For many of us, the functioning of our mind as we age may be what determines whether we can live independently, and is becoming an increasing factor for many, as Alzheimer's disease is now the sixth leading cause of death in the United States. Stroke is another common problem that affects brain health. It can affect memory, physical function, and may also lead to loss of independence. In fact, it is the fifth leading cause of death in the United States and the leading cause of adult disability. But there is good news. Just like many other parts of your body, there are many things you can do to keep your brain in shape. Let's discuss the lifestyle connections, why they matter, and the steps you can take to train for a healthy brain. It probably doesn't come as a surprise to hear that physical activity is good for the body, the brain included. Physical activity may have a positive impact in many ways. It helps promote blood flow to the brain, and good blood flow to any part of the body helps supply sufficient oxygen and nutrients. It may also help to reduce the risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and stroke. All these are risk factors for Alzheimer's disease and dementia, so being active may help you prevent a variety of health problems in addition to contributing to a healthy brain. And it also promotes strong muscles, which may help to reduce the risk of falls and injuries that could impact brain health. Getting your body moving is a great way to promote a healthy brain. Aim to be active most days of the week to keep your brain and body in shape. You don't have to spend hours at the gym to reap the benefits, but physical activity is most beneficial for brain health and health in general when it is done on a regular basis. Choose activities you enjoy or even consider asking others to join with you. Be sure to talk with your doctor first before you get started with physical activity if you have a health condition or if it's been a while since you've been active. Nutrition is connected to a variety of health factors, so, not surprisingly, odds are good that it is related to brain health as well. However, it is a relatively new area of research, so we'll probably know much more in the years ahead than we do right now. When it comes to eating for a healthy brain, some studies show that following a lot of the same recommendations for a healthy heart may also contribute to a healthy brain. Also, since diabetes and heart disease can lead to strokes and blockages that impact the brain, making choices to prevent those conditions is a great step in the right direction. Much of the research around nutrition and brain health is focused on the DASH, or dietary approaches to stop hypertension, and Mediterranean eating patterns. Both of these eating plans are rich in fruits and vegetables, and the Mediterranean diet is especially rich in heart-healthy, unsaturated fats. For a brain-healthy diet, choose a colorful variety of fruits and vegetables. They are rich in phytochemicals, which are natural plant chemicals with potential health benefits, as well as other important nutrients, and are low in calories. They may help to protect your brain cells and reduce your risk of stroke as well as heart disease. Also enjoy fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids, such as salmon, albacore tuna, mackerel, trout, and herring twice a week. Include plenty of whole grains, low-fat or fat-free dairy foods, such as skim milk or 1% milk or yogurt, lean proteins, as well as nuts and seeds. All these are examples of nutrient-dense foods, meaning they provide a lot of nutrients for a low number of calories, giving you the best nutritional bang for your buck, in addition to benefits for keeping your brain and the rest of your body healthy. Sleep has a strong connection to brain health. It is a key part of regulating mood and is also related to learning and memory consolidation. Sleep loss is associated with a variety of factors: decreased short-term memory, poor performance on newly learned tasks, and difficulty paying attention. In fact, one study showed that memory tends to decline with age as part of a natural change in the brain. However, sleep quality may also help memory, especially as we get older and sleep qualities deteriorate. Poor sleep quality as we get older may prevent memories from being saved in the brain when we sleep. Since sleep is so important for a healthy brain, take steps to ensure that you get adequate sleep, not only the right quantity but also good quality. The National Sleep Foundation recommends that most adults average about 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. To improve sleep quality, take steps to ensure you initiate restful sleep and stay asleep throughout the night. Turn off mobile devices. The light they emit may stimulate wakefulness, and notifications may waken you after you're fallen asleep. Avoid stimulants such as caffeine, working, or upsetting activities like arguing or watching violent TV shows before bedtime, and create a cool, comfortable, and quiet sleep environment. Stress can also be a threat to a healthy brain. In fact, stress has been linked to memory loss in several studies. We all have stress from day to day, that's to be expected, but the main concern for brain health is severe and ongoing stress and anxiety. Long-term elevation of stress hormones may damage portions of the brain that are important for memory. So how do we manage that stress? When it comes to stress management, everyone is unique in what works best for them. You may need to try several different strategies to find the one that best works for you. For example, you may find that being physically active is a great way to temporarily escape from the stressors of the day. You may enjoy using uplifts such as hobbies, listening to music, spending time with friends and family, or anything else you find fun and relaxing. Relaxation strategies such as deep breathing or meditation may also be helpful. Strong social connections with others also are associated with a lower risk of cognitive decline. Meditation may also be a helpful stress management strategy for some. In fact, some studies have shown that mindfulness meditation exercises can actually change the structure of the brain in positive ways in areas that link to memory and compassion. Also work to maintain an active mind for good brain health. You've probably heard the statement, use it or lose it, and this applies to brain health as much as it does many other areas in life. Maintaining connections with others and participating in meaningful activities such as hobbies or volunteer work are linked to happiness. Doing activities that keep your mind active might promote memory and make your brain more adaptable to age-related changes. Some studies link formal education to a lower risk of cognitive decline, but research is ongoing. Overall, keeping your mind active can be a source of fun and stress relief as well. If you want to make a commitment to lifelong learning, there are many simple things you can do throughout your typical day to work your mental muscle. Take a class to learn something new, whether it's art, photography, continuing education for work, or anything that would broaden your horizons. Learn a new skill. Perhaps you've always wanted to learn another language or play an instrument. Also, challenge yourself to problem solve at work. Do crosswords or other puzzles, or read books, magazines, or anything that interests you. Plan active day trips or vacations. Visit museums, theaters, or other interesting locations. Vary your routine. Taking simple steps to change up your typical day may help to keep your mind sharp. And meet new people. Even being social with people you already know may help you stimulate your mind, manage stress, and have fun with others. High blood pressure is one of the biggest risk factors for stroke, just as it is a major risk factor for heart disease. In addition, it is also important to control cholesterol and blood glucose levels for both heart and brain health. It's also important to know your numbers. Have your blood pressure, blood lipids, and blood glucose checked as recommended by your healthcare provider. How frequently these tests are recommended will vary depending on your personal and family health history as well as other risk factors. Knowing your numbers gives you the opportunity to identify concerns early so you can take action to keep them in check. In addition, aim to achieve or maintain a healthy weight. Being at a healthy weight helps to reduce your risk of a variety of chronic health problems. This might seem like a lot to remember, but many of the lifestyle changes that help to promote healthy blood pressure, blood glucose, cholesterol, and weight are the same things we already discussed for promoting a healthy brain. Alcohol may be another factor that impacts brain health. Alcohol abuse increases the risk for many different health problems, including memory loss and stroke. One study showed that those who reported binge drinking twice a month were more than twice as likely to have declines in memory and brain function. According to the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, binge drinking is defined as drinking a large amount within a 2-hour time period that increases the blood alcohol level to 0.08. This is usually about 4 drinks for women or about 5 drinks for men. In addition to affecting brain health, binge drinking increases the risk of car crashes, injuries, and over time can cause damage to other organs. So it is important to limit your alcohol intake. If you drink alcohol at all, it is best to do so in moderation. This means no more than 1 drink per day for women and no more than 2 drinks per day for men. 1 drink is equal to 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or 1.5 ounces of an 80 proof liquor. Also, it is important that if you do not drink, it is not recommended that you start. Smoking is a big concern for many reasons, including brain health. Smoking is a major risk factor for stroke, especially in women who utilize oral contraceptives. Nicotine in cigarettes, as well as other forms of tobacco, change the brain. It increases the number of nicotine receptors, which leads to addiction. Also, the chemicals in tobacco smoke, including nicotine and carbon monoxide, damage the heart and blood vessels. Smoking increases blood pressure, reduces HDL or good cholesterol, and increases the likelihood of blood clots. And it also makes exercise more difficult. All these factors connect to heart health and brain health. So it is important to avoid tobacco. If you currently use tobacco and are ready to quit, consider taking advantage of the many free resources that are available to you. There's smokefree.gov or betobaccofree.hhs.gov for more information, or you can call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. In addition to many of the other lifestyle factors that can affect brain health, there are also some basic safety tips to keep in mind. Head injuries are a major cause of memory loss and may also increase the risk for dementia in the future. Protect your head by wearing a helmet when riding a bike or during contact sports. Wear your seatbelt when riding in a motor vehicle. Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless, and poisonous gas. When it is breathed, it prevents your brain, heart, and other organs from getting the oxygen they need. To prevent carbon monoxide exposure, have your vehicle and furnace serviced regularly and install a carbon monoxide detector within your home. Many chemicals in your home and workplace may include toxic substances like lead and mercury, which may cause memory loss. To limit your exposure, carefully read labels on chemicals and follow the safe handling procedures. When it comes to brain health, one of the most common problems a person or family members may notice is memory loss. As we discussed before, brain health changes with age, just as physical health does. Some forgetfulness is normal. We all forget where we put our car keys from time to time, and some of this is a part of normal aging. However, Major memory loss is not a normal part of aging, and there are many different problems that could lead to it. Since there are many areas of the brain that involve the memory, a problem with any of those areas can lead to memory loss. There are many potential causes of memory loss. You might be familiar with some of the more common reasons for mild or temporary memory loss. For example, if you're under a lot of stress or you're a woman going through menopause, you may notice that your mind isn't as sharp as it has been at other times. However, there are many other potential causes for memory loss as well. Here is just a small sample. Lack of oxygen to the brain, which can be due to the heart having stopped, you stop breathing, or complications from anesthesia. Brain tumors, brain infections, often related to conditions such as Lyme disease, syphilis, or HIV and AIDS. Some cancer treatments, such as brain radiation, bone marrow transplant, or sometimes chemotherapy. Certain medications, depression when not treated or managed, head trauma or injury, illnesses that cause a lot of damage to nerve cells, such as Parkinson's disease, Huntington's disease, or multiple sclerosis. Some nutritional problems, such as low vitamin B12, heart bypass surgery, stroke, or transient ischemic attack, TIA, or a mini stroke. Notice that some of these causes can be modified. For example, changing a medication that impacts memory or correcting a nutritional deficiency, if that is the root of the problem, may help. On the other hand, some causes are much more permanent. As we discussed earlier, some minor forgetfulness happens to all of us as we get older. So how do you know when to be concerned? Here are a few examples of things to look for. An increasing dependence on others for basic daily activities such as cooking, cleaning, and personal care. Difficulty operating familiar and common household appliances such as a television or microwave. An inability to remember recent events. Forgetfulness without realizing it. Frequent pauses for word finding. Getting lost in familiar areas. And a decline in social skills. If you notice these signs in someone you care about, please help them seek care from their healthcare provider. If you notice from time to time that your memory isn't quite as good as it used to be, there are some small memory tricks that you can use that may help. Here are a few examples. Create routines. For example, put your car keys in the same place each day, or get into the habit of making a list of all the things you need to accomplish. Slow down. It takes time to capture memory. Give your brain time to absorb the details. Avoid distractions and multitasking, especially for important things that you really need to focus on. A lot of environments are trying to do too many things at once can make it difficult to do anything well. Get enough sleep to allow your brain the opportunity to consolidate the memories and also manage stress effectively. Stroke is another threat to brain health. In addition to being the fifth leading cause of death in the United States, it's also a major cause of disability. Did you know that the brain uses 20% of the oxygen and fuel in your blood? A heart attack occurs when blood supply to the heart is disrupted. Similar problems can happen in the brain. If the brain doesn't get the blood flow it needs, you might start to have problems with memory and other cognitive abilities, and ultimately, a stroke occurs when blood flow to part of the brain is interrupted or stopped. There are three different types. An ischemic stroke is when a blood clot blocks the flow of blood in the brain. A hemorrhagic stroke occurs when the blood flow is blocked by a blood vessel that ruptures, and a transient ischemic attack is when a temporary blood clot blocks blood flow. It is also known as a TIA or a mini stroke. How a stroke affects the body depends on what part of the brain is affected. Some examples of problems that strokes may cause include paralysis of part of the body, memory loss, vision problems, or difficulties with speech and language. The American Stroke Association encourages you to think fast when it comes to signs of a stroke. Take action when you see the following. Face drooping is one sign. One side of the face may droop or be numb. A person's smile may be uneven as a result of the droop. Arm weakness in one arm. If a person is asked to lift both of their arms, one arm may drop. Speech difficulty. A person having a stroke may have slurred speech, be unable to speak, or you may have trouble understanding them. They may not be able to repeat a simple sentence. If any of the symptoms above occur, even if they go away, it is critical to call 911 to get the person to a hospital immediately. In addition to thinking fast, the following are also signs of possible stroke. Sudden leg numbness or weakness, sudden confusion, sudden problems with vision in one or both eyes, sudden dizziness or problem with walking or coordination, and sudden severe headache. Don't wait to take action if you or someone you know experiences these symptoms. As we begin to wrap up our seminar today, here's a brief summary of what we have learned. The brain is connected to every function in the body, including memory, thought, and movement. Lifestyle steps, including regular physical activity, healthy eating, stress management, sleep, and learning can help you keep your brain in shape. Think fast if you or someone you know experiences symptoms of a stroke. So now, take a moment to think about what you learned today about brain health and memory. What is one small step you will take this week to keep your brain healthy? Thank you all for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the presentation and were able to take away some useful information about how to keep your brain at its best. As always, if you ever have any questions about your health and fitness journey, we at the Place for Wellness will be more than happy to connect with you. Thank you.